All right. We are
Well,
live on Hangouts. And waiting for you
Blind
to
grilling.
catch up with us. All right.
Your camera's on.
Oops. There we go. Is that blind shooter? You got your
No.
camera on.
no, that's blind grilling.
That's blind grilling. Okay. I've never met him, so
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you could show up. Anyway, let me get this going. Welcome, live from the crossroads of America. Talk show about guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. Answer questions from the audience or listeners on YouTube or gun channels. By saying that, of course, I'm broadcasting on both. I have a Patreon page. I got the spreadsheet or spreadshirt. They just type in Rick's Life or Spotted Rick, and my T-shirts and coffee mugs and stuff like that should come up. So I have one of those as well. And also, if you're interested, the audio files from these shows, show's a very loose word, of these chats. The audio file is up on Stitcher, Podbean, and iTunes within 24 hours of the show ending. So, let's see who we got. Patriot in the Dark was first in the room. Then Rich White, the poor conservative. Jason Stewart, Black Cat Outdoors, Kingpin is on YouTube, and so far on gun channels, we got Rich White doing double duty over here, David Bolin, and Sean Connery. So there we go. Then in my panel right now, we have the man, the legend, the myth. Or is it the other way around? The myth, the legend. I can't remember. Patriot in the Dark. How you doing, buddy?
Well, hello, fine sir. Doing wonderful today.
Okay.
Thank you for the invite.
No problem. Then we got David, the Kingpin Bolin.
Hey, Rick. How's it going, man? Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
No problem. And we got a new guest. Hope we don't scare him off. Blind Grilling. How you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Today's chat is just whatever I catch up on the week's gossip, basically. Yeah, but as I was saying in my thing, Pittsburg defying the state, law on preemption by putting that silly ban of banning it. But they changed it. They didn't outright ban assault weapons. You can't fire an assault weapon in the town. Well, you never could anyway. So I didn't understand it, unless I misunderstood the actual thing they finally passed, because it was watered down from what it originally was. So, I mean, but what I really want to get on to is one of my other topics. I just brought Pittsburgh up to lead in the way. Is, I've been thinking, it's been going on for a few months now, but I'm hearing it more and more. Is what it would say 5% of Democrats want to appeal the Second Amendment. I mean, you think about it. How in the hell did that happen? Why does the country want to start messing around with the Constitution? It's kind of scary when you think about it. What's your take on it, Patriot?
This is a wonderful chat to start off in. I'd just like to welcome Blind Grilling. I don't know, because I don't see it as a the Democrat Republican thing. I'm more of anti-Constitution or Constitution.
Yeah. Well, that was the figure I read, and it just said 5% Democrat. So I'm just copying what I read.
Yeah, that's the whole reason of us doing this kind of stuff, is to promote the awareness and actually go out and talk about it with people in real life, because I would say a good portion of those are just following step. They probably don't know what they're talking about. I mean, just like most people, they don't really pay attention to what's going on. So as far as, I don't know, I think they're just kind of, following step because that's the thing to do, maybe. I don't know. Or they're just really anti-American or something. I don't know.
It does seem, I mean, I didn't remember hearing about it for a time frame. I didn't hear about amending it much before Donald Trump became president.
I think they're just emboldened now.
So yeah, it could be. What do you think, David?
I slightly disagree with my esteemed friend, Mr. Patriot in the Dark, and I do call it a Democrat issue. The reason that I do that, and I think everybody's pretty clear on my stance. I don't trust the Republicans either. Every time that they do something out of tort, I definitely call it out. But these are Democrat Party policies. That's the reason that I call it Democrat problem or a leftist problem. It's their policies. It's not a Republican policy, even though Republicans always vote anti-2A. They push these bills forward and stuff like that when they say that they won't. But these are to the core Democrat policies. That's why I would call it a left-right thing or a Democrat-Republican thing. But I do understand Patriot's point. So I'm kind of only somewhat disagreeing with him.
All right. Before we move on to blind grilling, if you want to join the chat on the panel, I've dropped the link on the Gun Channels chat room. So if you go over to Gun Channels, then you can get the link to join the panel. All right, our new guest, blind grilling, welcome. And you got any opinion on what we're just talking about with the Second Amendment?
Yeah, absolutely. To be honest with you, it's kind of at a loss for words at the attempts that they're making to get rid of it. And I think that they, maybe emboldened, as Patriot said, but at the same time, I think that they've kind of run out of options, and they think that they just need to go as far as they can while they can. And I think it's showing their true colors.
Yes, I do too. I mean, who was? I think I was listening to I think it was a Never Enough Ammo chat the other night, and what he said made sense. They're throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. A lot of it's not going to get through this time, but
And I think they actually probably had that from before. I don't think it's something new that any of those guys are talking about. They might have a couple people that jumped on the group with them or whatever, but I don't see it as something that's new. I'm sure they tried to hide it before. We're not coming after your guns. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. Sleight of hand thing. But I think that that's something that there's been a major thing. I mean, I don't know how big it's been as far as the group, but I'm sure there's always factions of. That's the problem of having people involved.
All right. Oh, Rich White has joined us. How you doing, Rich?
Hey, how's it going?
All right. You got any opinion on what we're talking about?
Oh, I got lots of opinions.
No, let's hear them.
It's all about power. It's all it is. It's all about power. We've probably beaten this dead horse numerous times, not to confuse with Gun Channel's version of Dead Horse. We've never beat him. But if you look at who was it? Chairman Mao. What did he say? True power comes from the barrel of a gun. How do you control power? If we have the Second Amendment, you get rid of it. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get rid of the Second Amendment so they can consolidate their own power. And so that's basically what it boils down to. If you look at every tyrannical government since the we'll just go from the American Revolution. One of the first things they did was either banned or limited people's abilities to have firearms to defend themselves in their homeland.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I guess is what Pedro said. They're out. They're out in the open now, but they actually hear it more and more. Let's appeal the Second Amendment. To me, it's kind of frightening that the subject is even being brought up.
Well, that's because they understand that they're losing their grips on what you would call the moderates, the people who are willing to listen to a different argument here and there and possibly change their mind or vote for their best interest of their community or the nation or whatever, as opposed to just party lines. So they've got to appeal to the more extreme versions of their voter base. And saying, hey, we're going to work with the Republicans and we're going to try to make common sense gun legislation isn't going to get them the moderates. But what will get them their votes is when they say we're going to take all the guns away from all the bad people and make it safe and happy for everyone. Well, then the people on the extreme side of that are like, heck yeah, that's what I've been wanting the whole time.
All right. Oh, Black Cat Outdoors has joined us. How you doing?
I'm on my way home from work here, Rick. How are you today?
All right. Have you been listening? You got an opinion on appealing the Second Amendment?
This is a PG show, right? So those
I try to keep it that way.
So they can kiss my butt and come sodomite. Never mind. I better stop.
Yeah, as I said, just actually seeing it. I'm not saying they haven't had that plan all along, but actually seeing it out there to me is quite frightening. You know, and people are and the anti-gunners are jumping on board, going, "Oh yeah, what a great idea!" You know.
Well, no, we should just repeal their First Amendment rights so they shut the hell up.
You know. Oops. I got email. That's what that's telling me. It's I mean, take away the Second Amendment. I mean, I know what they're going for is total disarmament, and I know what in their beautiful dream they have. We're like in a Star Trek universe where everybody is friendly, and you got the Federation, you know, and in this glorious world that nobody has weapons and nobody kills each other. But in reality, that doesn't happen. And freedom isn't free, as we know. People pay a high price to give us this freedom.
The other thing you got to look at all the hot button topics, the things that they're throwing out all the time. You know, you've got the give me free stuff. You know, all the things that I mean, they're anti-American. I mean, I know that's a bold stroke to say, but I mean, you know, the things that they're pushing in college, and you got college kids that really don't. I don't know if they had strict upbringings in high school and never did anything, and they go to college and they, you know, lose their minds or whatever, and they just jump on the. You know, I know there's a lot of guys out there that probably do that. You know, you get some chick that says, "Hey, you know, hang out with us, but you gotta hate puppies or something." You know, I'm sure there's guys that do that, but I don't know. I don't know, because I mean, you listen to anything. I mean, right now, if you watch the news, it has nothing to do with firearms. They don't talk about that very much. You know, it's all about the other things that are going on, but. I don't know. They're just, I mean, they have a whole slew of things that are going on that they're trying to push, and they get this younger base that, you know, don't really care or don't really pay attention. You know, they got their minute and 30 seconds of attention span, you know, because of YouTube and those really short videos, you know, or those little, you know, vines or, you know, whatever kind of stuff they watch where they can't pay attention for a long time. Yeah, but I am a blind guy, and I like to talk a lot. Ask Dave.
Yeah, and to your point, Tracy, they're getting young. They're doing this at a younger and younger age. If you remember when we were kids, I don't know if you did, but when I was in kindergarten, we would run around in the schoolyard with squirt guns. Now you take a squirt gun to school as a kindergarten, you're getting suspended for the rest of the year. It's ridiculous.
Well, and the agenda is anti-American. You mentioned it just a minute ago, Patriot, and I say that that's not too bold of a statement, because if you listen to the narrative, it's America's the reason that everything in the world is bad. Americans a bunch of racist, land stealing, homicidal maniacs, and white privilege and white supremacy. They're actively teaching from the youngest to anyone still in any form of education or anyone who's going to watch the news that America is the problem with everything. Remember Barack Obama said he wanted to fundamentally change America, and he didn't say he was going to do it for the good.
You're right there. You're right. It's actually crazy. I mean, what I'm scared of, and as everybody knows, I lived in England for what, almost 30 years, before I moved here. And, you look at England today. I went back, what was it, 7, 8 years ago, when my father passed away and stuff. I went over there, and it totally changed to when I was there. I mean, it's been over. It's coming up to, I think it's 20 odd years since I lived there now. But in that time, it's totally changed. And you even see it on the news. I mean, they're trying to ban knives over there now because the knife crime is becoming an epidemic over there.
Yeah, they're also trying to regulate the sale of bleach because you got people running around throwing bleach in people's faces over there. I mean,
yeah, and that's what's going to happen here. And I don't, and that's a nice, happy world. I mean, he's even got to the point over there. I mean, even take them trying to leave the European community in Great Britain. The people voted for it, but the government been dragging their ass, and it still ain't done. Because the government didn't want it. The people wanted it, but the people they voted in to do what they wanted don't do it. That just sounds like this government too. I think that's worldwide, really. We vote these people in to do what speak for us, and they don't.
Just a quick tip to Blind Grilling.
Yeah.
Don't feel left out, man. Anytime you got something to say, just go ahead and pop in there. Sometimes we, especially me and Patriot, he talks a lot.
Yeah, that's one of those curses of being a blind guy. If you don't know what that means, Dave brought that up last week. Asked if being blind makes you talk a lot. So I try to talk more now.
And I'm just quiet and reserved. I'll just sit here.
Yeah.
That's when.
And there's even Blind Shooter. Look at that.
No, Blind Shooter's even showing up.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Yeah, somebody asked me the other day, was this, especially on Wednesdays, shooting with disabilities?
Yeah.
I was asked, is it becoming, blind people shooting with disabilities or something? Because my panel's getting more and more. But hey, that's what it's about.
Who's on the panel so far?
Just you and Patriot. I mean, I'm trying to get Blind Grilling in there, but he's busy on Wednesdays,
He's here, though, today.
He's here today, though.
I'm actually a preacher. So yeah, Wednesday nights get a little rough for me. So
yeah, that's not a problem. But if you're ever free, you're welcome to join us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. But, where else go to this? I mean, taking away the Second Amendment, but I caught this little article in Hawaii, talking about Great Britain banning knives. Hawaii wants to ban the butterfly knife now. So, I mean, they're going down the same path.
Now, are they talking about the butterfly fighting knife or the one that you can do all the flippy stuff with?
They didn't show a picture of it. You just said butterfly knife.
I'm sure it's just the flipping one.
Yeah, that's a bit, I guess, too. That's what everybody seems to want to ban. When they ban...
I'm sorry, Rich. Go ahead, brother.
No, I was going to say, when they're just banning, I think that seems to be the one they want to ban. No, I was done. Good.
I'm pretty sure the butterfly knife is banned in Maryland. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but why, though? I mean, it's not like I can do all this flippy stuff with it. It makes it so much more dangerous. It really doesn't. Except for the person using it, maybe, if you don't know what you're doing.
So I think it's that epidemic of guys dancing and singing when they're fighting. You know, that's a big issue now, isn't it?
Well, butterfly knife looks cool. Like, if you know how to operate it and you know how to do the tricks, that's pretty cool. But if I was in a survival situation where, you know, the zombies are coming down the street and my only self-defense weapon is a knife, I'm not going to use the butterfly knife unless it's the only thing I have.
Yeah, and they're cool looking and all, sure. I mean, you see them all the time in the 80s action movies, but you know what? I can open my Kershaw blur faster than you can open one of those things.
All right, we lost Black Cat there. So he dropped out. Oh, we got Alaskan has joined us now. How you doing, buddy? He's muting himself, or he's not ready to speak yet, so we'll get back to him.
You know, one of the things that we're dealing with is a society that, you know, has to be told just about everything and anything. So you've got warning, you know, you got these warning labels on strollers that say, you know, remove baby before folding. You know, if that's what we've come to.
I shouldn't laugh, but you're right.
I know, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's because of how lawsuit happy people are. Look at the idiot in the 80s that sued McDonald's because she spilled her coffee on herself and didn't realize it was going to be hot. Really? You don't realize coffee's hot?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't know if it's good news or not, but and to be honest with you, I forgot to write the part down. But is it RW or RIM? I can't remember. I can't even read my own writing. Arms have filed a lawsuit claiming $20 million losses for destroying all their bump stocks. Now, I'm not sure they're suing the federal government itself or the ATF. You know, whether they win that one, I don't know. You know,
the ATF is the federal government, but yeah, they're suing because of that.
Yeah. So, you know,
and I think the best one was a case that we looked at when I was back in school in the one law class I took. There was a woman who sued Walmart because she tripped over a child and she won $10 million from Walmart. The child she tripped over was her own 2-year-old.
Well, you can't fix stupid.
Yeah.
But you can muffle it with duct tape.
You got to just put bells on them. That's what, you know, you put bells on kids.
I want to know what jury was dumb enough to award somebody $10 million for not being able to control their child.
Hey,
Democratic one.
One that don't like Walmart or big business.
Yeah.
I mean, you can find that.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, back to what we were talking about here on my little notes here. I see what I wrote here earlier. Back to Pittsburg and their stupid ban they put on. They're being sued too now. But the mayor and the city council members are being sued for that, for that unconstitutional ban in the city.
And here's
we're trying to have them charged criminally also for passing a law that violates the preemption law.
That's a procedural law. It's going to be hard to get criminal charges filed on that. They're not going to face criminal charges. This is just going to be a court battle.
So, Black Cat.
I don't know. They violated 6120. That statute actually does carry a criminal penalty to it.
Now,
I don't know if you get the DA to file charges, but sorry, David.
Oh, no, I actually want to talk. I got a question for you. Can you simplify in just like layman's terms what exactly it means? Like, can you no longer possess an assault weapon in town, or like what exactly does the bill say in the easiest, simplest terms?
None of us are 100% on what it says. The simplest terms from what was explained to us was you cannot openly possess or openly carry a loaded assault weapon. So It's something with displaying, brandishing, all that. A loaded assault weapon is basically what is officially illegal, and they're defining loaded as ammunition in the magazine in the gun.
Yeah, that's how Maryland describes loaded firearms. Like when you transport them, if there's a magazine in the gun and it's got one round in it, your firearm is loaded.
Is loaded, right? But it's still, that's basically all it does. That's the gist of what it was explained to us. That's the gist of what they talked about banning and doing. They banned you openly carrying what they deem as an assault weapon in public in the city of Pittsburgh.
And what did they deem to be an assault weapon?
I'd have to read the statute. Anything scary looking, basically.
Yeah, probably.
ARs, AKs, stuff like that. If you read the statute, it lists features like pistol grips and detachable box magazines, and it doesn't matter. It really.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to say too much because there's planning stages on what the next move is. But
and I don't see this going to be criminal, though. I really don't, because you got the different laws that protect politicians from laws they pass being criminal. I don't know if it's
a criminal. It's a criminal violation.
It's a criminal. The law might say it's a criminal violation, but you also have laws that protect from having laws they pass being declared to be crimes. So this is going to be an interesting fight, to say the least, to see how this goes. This could be a major precedent as far as the rest of the country is concerned. And
we've been pushing the DA down there, and he doesn't want to file charges. Obviously, he's up for re-election here soon.
The LA County prosecutor's not going to file charges in this case, and you're not going to get the Attorney General of Pennsylvania to file the charges.
No, he's a huge anti-gunner.
Pushes for it. I mean, so there's not going to be any criminal charges passed. There's nobody's going to do it.
But now the gist of it is, from what I've been getting. Damn it! I just dropped my beer.
Oh no!
Son of a bitch!
Pittsburgh made him drop his beer.
Why were you had a little bit of levity here? Midnight Range wants to know how in the hell I got a big shot like Black Cow Outdoors on my show. Yeah. I mean, very rare that I get somebody with 1,000 subs join us.
Did he notice? He needs to go and check out Blind Grilling as well. I suggest everybody check it out, because I mean he's got a lot of good stuff, and if you're looking, you're not cooking.
Yeah, but see, the problem with Blind Grilling is he makes us hungry.
Yeah, he actually makes food that you want to eat too. So, no offense.
Andrew, Black Cat. That's why they come in the packs of 6. So you can just grab another one.
I know. I dropped 6 of them. I was carrying beer in, and I dropped a 6-pack out of what I had here.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to open a different kind of beer now. Son of a bitch.
Oh well. Yeah. So
anyway,
to be honest with you, Blind Grilling, I have subbed to your channel, but I haven't had time to watch any.
So, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
But I plan to, because Patriot told me everybody listens to Patriot.
Well, I appreciate it very much.
And soon, Rick is going to start doing his meat videos.
Yeah,
he was trained as a real live butcher.
I know I should, but I don't know.
No offense. I'm not checking out Rick's meat videos.
I want to do something like that. But then the other side of me is I don't want to put all that effort in to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Please.
Like somebody said about, some people love doing shooting videos. They love setting up the cameras and, doing people, watching them, them shooting people. They love doing that. To me, I'd rather be at the range shooting than spending a half hour setting up my camera.
Oh, come on. You don't want to be Gun Channel's version of Bobby Hill?
So, and the cooking thing, that's Midnight Ranger's thing. He should be putting up the cooking videos.
Yeah, but he doesn't show how you get the meat off the cow. He just shows how to cook it afterwards.
Rick, you got to promise me something. You got to name that Rick's Meat as I see it. Because I want to see what the YouTube algorithm does with that.
Yeah. I suppose I will have to do something, I know Patriot wants to get me tied to YouTube where I can't go out and shoot anymore. I don't know why.
I just put the link to Blind Grillin's channel out in the YouTube chat. So everybody click on that link and go check him out.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's hopefully we'll do more with shoot. It'll be more of the hunting aspect of things because like I'm getting ready to do some elk burger video tonight, and it's because I still hunt. I still love to hunt, and still active in shooting.
Okay. Actually, talking about hunting, as I showed it last week here in Indiana, I got my disabled hunter permit for I can shoot from my cab of my truck if I want to. Okay. I got to be off road though. I can't do it from the side of the road. Plus, I got with that thing I can get permission to. I can drive and shoot from my cab on government land as well.
Oh wow.
I'm not. Hey, I ain't hunted in my life, but I'm gonna. All my cousins here do, so I thought, give it a try.
Yeah, I love it. Turkey season opens Monday, so we'll see what happens.
All right, sounds good. Andrew Faulkner says, "Name the show Rick's Meat as I beat it."
Oh, he definitely goes straight for that one.
Yeah, I tell you gotta keep this clean, guys. So, all right, let's get back on track. What were we? Oh yes, is he a representative or a senator? The one there in California, Swaywell, in his buyback program, he wants to spend millions of dollars to buy back millions of AR-15s. So basically, he wants to spend my tax money paying me back for something that the government never owned in the first place.
Yeah, but he also wants to nuke all of us. So come on. This is the same guy that said, "Oh, we got nukes. We'll just nuke you all." So come on. This guy's already shown he's an idiot.
Yeah. Oh, it does. But as we were talking earlier, they're for basically like a word. They're out of the closet now. We know exactly what they want. But some of the stuff they come up with. What does Andrew say? Oh, I need an electric chair to drag my deer out of the woods. Well, I can take somebody with me when I'm driving, so they can go drag the deer that I shoot. Because I can't do it because of my back. No. But I know why my cousin wants to come with me. He's not allowed to shoot from my cab, but it just gets him closer to where he needs to go without walking. That's all he wants to come for.
So that works with a 4-wheeler too, I believe. That permit.
Do what?
That permit also works with a 4-wheeler.
Yes, it says
you can use an ATV and.
Yeah, because it said, I'm trying to think what the actual wording is now. Now you got to make me drag.
Yeah, anything motorized that can actually get you there. You just have to ask permission to actually be out there driving and let them know that you're not a poacher.
Yes.
I think that was the big gist of it. You got to make sure that they know so they don't come out.
There's been some companies that have done some interesting things for handicapped people, disabled people using 4-wheelers where they could mount their rifles or shotgun on the 4-wheeler itself and use that as a firing position.
Yeah, a motor-driven conveyance. I'm allowed to use. So that is a 4-wheeler, anything like that. So, I got a 4-wheel drive pickup truck, but hey, If my cousin has, actually, I think my cousin does have a 4-wheeler. So, might be in luck. So.
No, what you need to get is one of them track chairs. Those things are cool.
Oh, yeah. Like, we'll see.
What you need to do is get one of those side-by-side with the pickup truck bed on the back. And then you put yourself a rifle or machine gun mount in the bed, and then mount your rifle on the back of there. Your cousin drives, and you just drive as they're driving. You just start popping off rounds.
That would be illegal because his cousin can't drive.
Yeah.
Speaking of, have you talked to Wheelchair Warrior recently, Rick?
No,
I haven't heard from him.
I haven't heard from him either. I'll send him an email and see if we can, find out what's happening to him again. I mean, I know he had issues, and that's why we didn't see him for months. I hope he hasn't gone back to whatever was the problem he had. He never did tell me, but I'm assuming it was health. So, hey, Grim 90's joined us in the chat room and on YouTube. So, anybody got anything they want to talk about?
Anyone see that new gun control ban they're working on here in New York?
What one now?
If you are transporting more than one firearm, you have to have it in a separate container from the previous one. So if you're transporting 2 guns, you need 2 lockers. And the locker has to be able to withstand any forcible entry from a modernized tool.
Well, any safe can be broken into.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, that's the point. What you got to do is you got to invent the unbreakable safe and then sell them for $100,000 a piece to all us super rich gun owners.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that one's going to... Well, New York, there ain't no telling when that could pass. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, we finally got stun guns and folding knives legalized, so...
And nunchucks. Don't forget nunchucks.
They need nunchucks too.
They need to look into that company that used to make the clamshells for CD cases. I think that would probably work out pretty good.
See, I thought those were invented by the same guys that made the VCRs that you couldn't set the clock on.
Jason Stewart is saying his AR is having gender reassignment.
Wait a second. So you mean it's not always 12-12?
Yeah, 12.
Oh, real quick before we get going again, because we're going off track again, is let me do my quiz from last week for my little swag pack here. The stickers and patches and all that good stuff. And this one has the best what's called it in there, the best patch of them all. Keep calm, it's only a flesh wound. I love that. No. The question was, I don't make many videos. Most of my stuff is all live chat. But I did make one a few days ago, and I wanted to know what the name of my last video was, because I forgot to look up a question before the show started last week, so I came up with that one. Name of my last video was one of my cats, Peanut, the Maine Coon. So it was a cat video. So that's the one I was holding in my arms here a few minutes ago, if anybody noticed in the chat room. But I know a few people can't, but he was in my lap here a minute ago. So I got the entries. I think we had about 5. And so let me hit the draw now button and see who we got. John Brown Productions is the winner. So there you go, John Brown. He was in the room.
Congratulations.
I did. So there we go. Then, but this week I got some chapstick thing here. One of my trading cards. Put that in there. Stickers, business cards. Got some Clover Tech stuff here. Glock stickers. Some More cards, more stickers. Oh, I got a black butterfly ammunition patch in there. Got a "Do Not Tread on Me" sticker. Got some earplugs. One of them lanyard things, is that what they call them? And a Texas State Rifle Association sort of cup can holder to keep your I'm not going to say keep your beer cool while you're shooting. Keep your soda cool while you're shooting. So that is the prize for next week. And the question is, it's an email question now. Don't go writing it in the chat. It's an email question to Rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. And the question is, in the TV show NCIS New Orleans, what is the main sidearm of nearly all the agents who work out of the New Orleans office? That is the question. Email me. Oh.
If it's realistic, I know what it should be, but probably isn't.
Oh, the forklift guy has joined us. No, or was he locked? Oh, yeah, there he is.
We're joined by forklift guy. I'm humbled.
Yes, forklift guy has joined us.
Well, it is a Saturday, and
well, yeah, normally Saturday's your family day. Oh, but you're working, aren't you?
Every Saturday this April, so I'm going to have to probably bow out of the NRA show now. So that's 2 for 2 this year. We're not doing so well.
Oh, why? I thought, the people you're going to go with want to go on Saturday?
I don't even know if I can go. Originally, it was, if we work this April, you'll be working day shift on Saturday. Now you're working every Saturday this April, like it or not, second shift, which means I'll be getting home close to midnight, and I really don't feel like getting on the road at 4 a.m. the next morning to get down to Indianapolis.
I can see I can see that.
I'm not saying going on Sunday is totally out of the realm, but it's probably impractical at this point. I'm really not too happy that they just sort of dropped this on us. So first, I have truck issues and can't make it to the Great American Outdoor Show. Now I got work scheduling issues and can't make it to NRA. This is just, that's life, man.
Well, I'm going to the NRA. I'm going to be on a budget because, as I said, was it last week or on Wednesday, my goddamn cats cost me over $300 at the vets. That was my spending money. So I'm on a budget now when I get to the NRA, but I'm going. Because I live here in Indiana. It's in Indianapolis. It's about a 2-hour drive from me. So I was thinking of going on Saturday. So if anybody's going, let's because we only got a couple of weeks to go. Let's make some arrangements to meet up somewhere in there or something. I don't know how we do it, but, I just thought I'd throw that out there. So Alaskan AK has joined us. Can you hear me now? Can you speak now?
I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you before.
Okay.
How you doing, Rick?
Not too bad.
Hello, everyone.
We're getting feedback from somewhere. So, all right. Moving on. So, Blind Shooter says tech issues kicked me out of there. Okay. No problem. But if you can make it back, fine. If you can't, that we understand. So, anybody got anything else they want to talk about?
I have a question. Can you hear me, or are you getting feedback?
I can hear you.
Okay, I have a question. I never thought about this before I start watching like gun channels, people, all the small channels. But like for Blind Shooter and Patriot in the Dark that own firearms, is there any special thing that blind people have to do, or are they looked at funny when buying a firearm or anything like that?
There you go, Pete. I know we talked about this once before, but I know he doesn't mind doing it again for somebody who hasn't heard. That what you do when you go buy a gun, anything special?
No, you just have to, I don't know, have a good head on yourself. You can run into stuff. All right, you're gonna have to mute.
Getting feedback again. Alaskan, I think you're. There you go.
Doesn't have headphones on. Now, you can get people that are jerks anywhere, but I don't know. I mean, it's been a long time. I mean, I buy them, and you just have your self confidence and know what you're doing. If you have questions, make sure you ask and find the proper people to talk to. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. You're going to get, looks sometimes, but,
Hey, Patriot.
Yes.
If you go into the gun store and you want to fool them into thinking that you're sighted, just tell them that all Glocks look alike, and they'll believe that you're not blind.
And see, it's funny because I'm in the process of doing a video that I seen on blind grilling. But you don't look blind #.
Yeah.
So because I make eye contact with everybody. I do have one eye that looks kind of like Master on Kung Fu, Grasshopper. But my other eye looks normal. And so I look at people and they just, you must just be blind in that one eye, but you can see. So, as long as you make eye contact, sighted people, they're easy to push over. So,
That's right.
So it really, it's a self-confidence thing. If you go in, if you don't know and you're a new guy, make sure that you kind of look up information and don't feel bad about asking questions, because most guys that go to gun shops don't know what they're talking about anyway. You might have some people that do, but you look dumber if you try to think the answer. Make sure you ask questions.
Yeah. Also, I would imagine because, like the rest of us, even us sighted guys, I mean, it's part of our right to own a firearm. So being blind, they can't stop you from buying one.
Well, I only ask because I have a friend that's blind who's been thinking about buying a gun, but he's pretty scared and he don't know how to go buy it. He didn't even know if he's legally allowed to own one since he has no sight,
Yeah, as long as he's not a felon, he can do it.
Yeah. And you got any input on that blind shooter? No. We go blind shooter or blind grilling, either one jump in?
What's the question?
I was just going to, as far as going and buying and purchasing guns, I've had really good experiences for the most part everywhere I've went, and most folks, and I think probably it is because of not only confidence but being around firearms my whole life. I'm very familiar with them anyway. So if there's certain things I don't know about, I'm willing to ask, and usually when it comes to either like a safety or like a slide release, they sometimes they'll reach up and kind of grab my thumb and put it like, right there it is. So my experiences have always been really good in purchasing firearms and going and checking them out.
Okay. All right, blind shooter. We're talking. The question was anything special or anything like that when you go buy a gun.
No, not really. I mean, when I first got into purchasing guns, the guys at the gun store were like, "What the hell are you doing?" And then once I showed them the pistol permit, they're like, "All right, fine, you passed. We must be allowed to do this with you." And now they just see the box come in with my name on it, and they're like, "All right, fine, call the blind guy. Tell him come pick your shit up."
All right.
The other thing I suggest is find a real shop. I wouldn't necessarily go to a big box store. I mean, I wouldn't anyways, but you might get, guys that actually know what they're talking about if you go to, obviously a gun shop or whatever. And I mean, you'll know as soon as you walk in if there's going to be an issue. I like the small shops anyway, so I call them, and you might want to call them a couple of times before, just to say, hey, I was the one that called about XYZ, and then they'll go, oh, well, you talk on the phone, you must be normal, or something. I don't know.
You guys should blow their minds and teach the dog to fill out the 4473.
So, Alaskan, you can always go with your buddy. He's allowed to own a gun. If he's not legally, a felon or anything like that, he's allowed to buy a firearm.
Yeah. And the other thing is, as far as like the paperwork, some places you can do it on, on like a tablet or whatever. So there is software that you can use some places, but most of it's, like around my shops, they're all still paper, they're old guys. But one shop you have to have, I could have somebody fill it out for me and then have two or three witnesses that I was the one telling them and they marked it right and they all have to sign, which that was the very
first. What I was going to ask about filling out the form. So that's what you have to do, huh?
That was the very first time. And then I'm not one to have anybody do anything for me. I'm too big headed or whatever. So we have those stencils where your signature stencil. It's basically the same size as a credit card, and it's got a rectangle cut out of it. So basically, it's lined up on like a signature line, and then you just sign inside the box. Well, I've used one of those, and I just have a sighted person line it up. I tell them the answer. They line the corner up with the checkbox, and you just go to the corner and put your mark. And it takes a little bit, but then you're the one that's actually filling it out. So
yeah, you are stubborn.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. I'll go with them to the gun store. We'll look into it. And I just wasn't for sure, and he didn't know either. He's never owned a gun, so
yeah. Don't assume that a small gun shop is going to know the laws. If you've seen Mox's experience from Tulsa, he had an idiot tell him that he couldn't transfer a long gun to him. So, just because they're a small shop doesn't mean they know what the hell they're doing either.
No, I just meant, more familiar with, they're obviously passionate about firearms. But yeah, and if they does have any questions, feel free to give them my email or, have them come to the chats or whatever. I mean, there's enough of us out here. We like to hide, but I would like to mention, Rick, did you get that email?
What email?
I just sent you an email. Hopefully I sent it.
Oh, you just sent one?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Let me have a look. I turned off my sound. That's why
I was listening for it.
Oh.
I thought that every time that sounds, Tony jumps in.
Is that the answer to the question I asked for next week?
No, that's
something you're going to do
to my trivia question.
Okay, gotcha.
Since I didn't. Yeah, on Shooting with Disabilities this week, I didn't ask a question. I just gave the people that won the week prior or whatever.
Yes.
So I will ask a question if you guys are ready.
All right, we're ready.
Okay, so you can see both sides there, Rick?
I got it all lined up here.
Okay. Speaking of firearms, and my channel is Patriot in the Dark. I'm wondering what was the first descriptive field strip video I did on what firearm? That's it.
Okay, I know the answer without even you sending it to me. Well, I watched it. I remember because I remember writing in the comment section. Wow, I learned about how to do my 1911. I gave the answer out.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
I was listening. I was putting the brakes on, but my brakes weren't working.
Yeah. Damn it. Sorry about that. But nobody's got it yet, even after I gave them the answer.
Yeah. Nobody wants my sticker anyway, so
no.
I already sent you some.
Okay. Anyway, Midnight Range has something in here. He goes, so what's Brian Griller's story? I must have missed it. Well, we really haven't asked him, to be honest with you. I was going to get to it. If he doesn't mind giving it, run down the story of who he is or what he does and all this good stuff.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Go for it.
Well, my name is Chris Peltz. I live in Springfield, Missouri, and part-time I have an organization called Blind Grilling, and we provide accessible grilling packages, which include big green eggs and other talking equipment to veterans and first responders who have lost their sight, and we teach them how to grill and be independent, preparing meals. So that's kind of what I do part time, and then I've been on a few outdoor hunting shows, hunting elk. I've taken the trifecta in Colorado: elk, antelope, and mule deer.
Wow.
And set a red dot scope up on a 7mm mag, and someone looks over my shoulder to line up the shot. And so we've done a lot of hunting that way, and same setup on a crossbow. So use a crossbow for whitetail hunting. My phone. Yeah, I do as much as I can outdoors. I lost my sight over time. Started losing my sight when I was 10 years old, and by the time I was 16, had lost about 80% of my vision, and grew up on a farm, and my folks told me, I got to get out and do just as much work now and just as hard now, because I'll have to work twice as hard when I leave the house. And so I'm supporting my family and get them in the woods every chance I get, and teach them how to shoot, hunt, fish, and then how to cook it.
Wow. Black Cat Outdoors in the chat saying he's got to be a better cook than Midnight. Yeah.
I'm still trying to talk my daughter into writing a good email and sending it to you. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, you and I need to talk anyway. So you need to give me a call.
And nobody's answered your quiz yet either. Even after I gave the answer out.
Yeah, they don't. Nobody wants it. I guess it's all right.
I'll answer it if you want to, but I'm on the panel. I think I could.
Yeah, Rich Wright's answered it in the chat.
Yeah.
Great. Next, he'll try and win a holster from me for it.
Yeah, I'm still trying to. He has what was the holster? A service sidearm. What was that joke one that you had put out?
It was a emotional support pistol. Do not pet.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Grimm's got it. 1911 45 ACP.
Yeah. Okay. I was just checking. I
know our visually impaired people can't see that, but there's the holster that was in question, in case anybody's wondering.
Okay.
Heck, Andrew Faulkner's out in the chat. I'm surprised he didn't win. He wins everything.
Yeah, he's already won.
I win everything. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people win there on my show. And everybody, I don't win. I think I've only ever won once. And actually, where is it? I actually won a holster from, what was it? Ghost Tactical.
Yeah, you won the one for the shield from him, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his Christmas giveaway.
I've been planning to buy the shield. I ain't bought the gun yet, but I got the holster.
Yeah, you won the holster, and I won a knife, and then I ended up giving the knife to my son. I remember that.
Yeah. So that's the only thing I've ever won. So.
I don't know. Did you even enter my last giveaway?
What was your last giveaway?
Those holsters.
I
gave one away on Gun Channels and one away on...
I didn't enter, I must admit. I
We
didn't
got a question for you in the chat there. Black Cat Tread wants to know if you got your live streaming available to you yet.
I did. I put it up on Instagram on my way home from work. It looks like it's going to work now. So it's not giving me the your channel is not, or your channel doesn't meet the requirements anymore. It actually would have let me put a title in and go live, I think. So I think it's working now. I haven't officially tested it yet.
Something interesting about this holster? I don't know if you saw when I was doing it or not, RL. You got me the one for the 2.0, the M&P 2.0 compact. My Taurus G2C actually fits this holster as well.
You did show me that. I don't know. They must have similar trigger guards because I think the retention snaps on the trigger guards. Because I have one, I don't have that logo on mine. I have one that has an American flag logo, and it's for my my TriStar T120, and my CZ75 compact fits in that one also. Which the TriStar T120 is that's a CZ clone anyway, but they both fit.
Midnight Range got a question for Blind Griller. Blind Grilling, I think it is actually. So he wants to know, why did you choose grilling as the method to help the blind community? Did he just realize cooking was an area that nobody was focusing on?
Cooking's an area Midnight can't focus on.
It was something that actually I worked for a hunting outfitter in Colorado for a little while, and once he retired, I started doing just some little videos with my kids, just to do some things with my kids, and then started posting on YouTube, and then folks started talking and replying and calling and sending me stuff and saying that it was encouraging. And we actually had a police officer here in Springfield that got shot in the head on duty and lost an eye. He survived, thankfully, but I started thinking, what can I do? What's something that I can do personally to try and give back to the veterans and first responders to help them, and that I can relate to possibly. And, vision loss is what I can relate to. And I love to cook. And that's something that a lot of blind folks are afraid of. They're afraid to mess with fire. And so I wanted to teach them how to do that and give them that sense of independence that they may have thought they lost, so that they can do that again and help them after everything they've given for us and our freedoms in our country.
There you go, Patriots. You can stop calling the pizza guy.
That's
No, I love grilling. I mean, I grill if it's snowing, raining, whatever. But that's great because you get looks, especially if you have people over for a barbecue, and they think somebody else is going to do it for you, and you step up there and you start cooking it. Especially if they don't know you or don't really spend time with you or whatever. It does give people that shock value, I guess.
Yeah, because I'm just because I love grilling too, but I can see what I'm doing. But when something's cooked, right? Personally, I do it more by, it looks like it's done. So you've got to do it by time, or I would imagine,
and temperature. That's what I've learned more than anything is how important temperature is, and how much better really food can be if you really know what temperature things need to be at. So that's, and I think I'm definitely not the best by any means. But I've won first place at several Big Green Egg Fest cook-offs.
Oh, wow.
So in fact, we won, I was on the team that won 2 years ago, the Big Green Egg headquarters put on the big Eggtoberfest, and we won first place, People's Choice there. And just last month in March, I won first place at an Egg Fest here in Springfield, Missouri. And so we do pretty good, and a lot of people are surprised and wonder how in the world can you do. And which you get, I'm sure with you if you're shooting, how do you do that? That's the question I get more than anything is how do you do that? So, and that's one reason why I continue to post the videos, to show people not only how, but just help educate them that we can, just because we're visually impaired, we can do those things.
Yeah, Midnight Range out there on YouTube sites asking, I was wondering this myself, what exactly is the Big Green Egg? Can you explain that for those of us who haven't watched your channel yet?
The Big Green Egg is a ceramic grill and smoker. And it's shaped like an egg, and it's green. Hence the name. So, but the reason that it is so great for the blind and visually impaired is because the ceramic grill, I can be cooking at 350, 400 degrees and I can touch the outside of the grill and not burn myself. It'll be hot, but if you touch a metal grill, you're leaving skin behind. And with the egg, because of the ceramics, it's just a little bit safer to reach up and touch. And because you can control your airflow and it's airtight, if the fire starts to get out of control, you can just shut your vents down and the fire will burn out and contain itself. And so it's just it's a safe grill, but it is so versatile because you can do low and slow, 200 degrees all the way up to 1,000 degrees if you want to sear steak or pizza, cook pizzas, in a minute or something. It's extremely versatile, and you can do everything on it. And so, but they're very safe to use, especially for someone who can't see.
So it'll be a good thing for somebody that has a bunch of small kids around too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean there are hot pieces. The bottom vent can get hot, but again, it's not something that if they touch, by the time they realize it's hot, they're able to pull away without having third-degree burns.
Right. Midnight Range TM. He's our resident sort of. He's another one that cooks and loves firearms. He's asked me to. He wants to invite you on his show. He's got a bunch of questions for you.
Now, be prepared. Be prepared for a lot of breakfast questions because he specializes in waffles.
Yeah, he's like third shift waffle chef. So
I mean,
don't get too excited.
They don't even make fries there. What's up with that?
Yeah. But anyway, what they're going to do is, I think King David, their kingpin, is going to. We're giving your email.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Then you can make it.
I can send it to him too.
Yeah.
I don't mind just saying it. I mean, unless there's a rule against it. But
no, I don't have no rule against it.
Yeah, blindgrilling@gmail.com.
There you go, Midnight. You wrote that down?
As somebody that's been on Midnight Show multiple times, don't do it. It's not worth it.
You might want to set up just a private one-on-one, because he does it really late on Sunday evenings. So you might want to have him just do a pre-recorded one. That might work out better.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get this riff-raff in there and it goes all over the place.
And just for fair warning, I'm usually belligerently drunk by the point his show comes on. So,
but you kind of have to be on the show. You might also want to bring a plunger or toilet auger and maybe some hip waders because sometimes it gets a little backed up. The slug gets down the sanitary and it gets a little backed up there.
Yeah. Talking about the closer, and David is completely forgetting about his sound effect.
No. I was waiting for the right time. Excuse me, all. Whoosh. Thank you very much. You may proceed.
Now, the other night, 2 nights ago, I was when I got off work, I stopped at the local Meijer grocery store, and somebody wasn't delivering their sound effect metric. And so here I am. I'm trying to make the sound, and there's a bunch of people standing at the entrance having a smoke break. And I rounded the corner, and I'm going bah whoosh, and they all stopped and looked at me, and I'm thinking, oh great, they're probably going to label me as one of the crazies.
Well, they wouldn't be wrong. I mean,
yeah, but see, it's Meijer's. It's a little bit higher class than Walmart. So I mean, it wasn't like I was in sweats or in a wife beater, but I mean, because you go to Walmart to people watch. But still, it was I try to have a little dignity when I'm at the better of the two stores. But all of that went right down the toilet.
You gotta look at it this way, Steve. You are a Marine. I mean, you gotta be a little bit crazy to be a Marine to begin with.
Well, yeah. I mean, I did kind of peruse the school supplies to look for some crayons because I was a little hungry. So.
Snacks.
Oh, Midnight Range, by the way, in the chat, Midnight Range, he says, I'm sure he can't wait to come on now. Thanks, a-holes.
Yeah. Like I said, a pre-recorded one would be great because you can skip over all this riff-raff that are in here right now. So,
yeah.
One-on-one probably better.
I'm being tame. For
I
the
know.
record.
That's what I mean.
Hey, this chat has gone totally out the window, so that's okay. But we've gone totally off topic, but that's fine. Anybody got anything else they want to talk about?
Like I tell my kids, if I didn't see it, it didn't happen.
That's right.
Did you guys see about a week ago where they arrested a guy at Portland, Oregon's airport because he was stealing guns out of people's checked baggage?
No.
He stole like 5 guns from people.
I tell you what, because I've done that. I've flown and checked the gun in. I would be one peed off SOB when I got to the other end and it wasn't there. God, I would be.
Yeah, I got the link saved somewhere. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring that article up real quick.
So you leaving us, Vanessa? Talk to you later. Vanessa's saying her hubby's home, so I guess she's bailing on us. So thanks for stopping by.
Here, I'll screen share. I found the article.
Okay. All right.
So you guys seeing? Well, the people that can see, are you guys seeing that? Sorry. Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah, I can see. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. See. Yeah. See.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He was arrested. The crimes occurred from August to September of 2018, and report he stole 3 9mm, 2 40s, and a 45.
He can keep the 40s.
Yeah. He faces up to 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine.
Yeah. So I'm assuming they've been watching him, trying to catch him, because the people who lost the guns must have reported it.
Yeah, they were watching him, and they set up a sting and caught him.
They planted some 40s in there because nobody shoots that caliber, but he fell for it.
I believe I do.
Oh, I've got 2 of them. I just don't shoot them.
I carry them.
Yeah, but I've noticed though the last time I went to Florida, which was a couple of years ago, talking about flying with your gun, I checking them in is not a problem. Just go to the counter and you say I got a firearm to check in, and they want to see it. The lady said I opened the case and she didn't look at it. She just wanted to see that it was there, the actual box. Then she gave me this card that we laid on top of it, whatever. Sipped everything back up, off it went. But when I got to Florida, because of that guy who went in there shooting the place up at one of those airports 2 or 3 years ago, you had to go to the special lost and found to pick up your luggage to get your firearm. When I got there, I gave him my name and everything else. It comes out the back, and it had 4 heavy-duty zip ties on it, zip tied tighter than hell. That I had to wait till I got to my son's house to be able to find something to try to slide underneath it to for I could release them to get them off of there, the bastards. So.
Here's a question. I got say I wanted to go to Wyoming and I wanted to take one of my pistols with me. Can I just pack it up in a FedEx box and FedEx it to wherever I'm going in Wyoming? Or does that have to be FFL kind of stuff?
FFL.
Yeah, you would have to send it to an FFL.
A rifle, technically a rifle you can ship to yourself, I believe, but a pistol has to go FFL to FFL.
Yeah. But checking it in and picking it up at the airport is not a problem. The first time I done it, it was a bit nerve-wracking, but the second time it was, except for the zip ties, it's a real, it's a real simple procedure. So.
Yeah, but David has the extra problem of being in Maryland, So I don't know what your travel exemptions are. I doubt the airport's on the list of places you're legally allowed to take a handgun.
Yeah, I would never even attempt if I was going to fly somewhere and take a gun with me. It'd probably be better for me to go into Dulles or something like that in Virginia as opposed to BWI.
What I was always worried about when I fly, I said I've only flown with a gun twice. As I said, I've only been in guns about 3 years now, so both times I've done it. The only thing that I was worried about, because I was living in Rhode Island then, so I was flying, and both times was to Florida, was hoping bad weather or anything like that would divert me to, New Jersey or New York or something like that. Having to land there instead of landing in Rhode Island.
And New Jersey has prosecuted people for getting played there.
My plan was if they diverted us to there and we landed, I wouldn't claim my baggage. Because I'm only got arrested for having a gun in the goddamn bag, even though it's legal. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hell, in New York, they'll arrest you for having a magazine over 10 rounds if you're just transporting from one state to another. Don't leave the airport. They'll arrest you right there. NYPD will be right there to pick you up. Give you a nice ride down the.
So living in New York, you can't fly somewhere with one. So if Blind Shooter wanted to come and visit, he couldn't bring his firearm. He would have to go through an FFL.
Is Blind Shooter in New York City, or is he in
New York
upstate
City?
New York?
New York City.
Yeah, unless he had a New York City carry permit, I don't think he could do it.
I'd never even thought of that because obviously flying through or getting delayed or diverted over to New York or Jersey or whatever, but actually being there and living and saying, "Hey, I want to fly to Montana or something. I want to do some kind of trip." I wonder. Because obviously you can have firearms, but you can't drive around with them or something. It's interesting.
It is. That was my only fear. Both times I flew with my firearm was if I got diverted to one of those. Yeah,
if you're flying and you get away over in LaGuardia or JFK, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I figured if we got diverted to there, I wouldn't even claim my baggage. I wouldn't even go anywhere near it.
You guys, I got to tell you, this is informative for me because I wasn't. I knew there was an attack on the Second Amendment. That's pretty nationally known, I think. But in Missouri, you don't even have to have a carry permit anymore to conceal carry. You can be 19 and conceal carry, and I don't know of a limit necessarily on magazine, but it's just some of these little petty little things that it seems like they're coming out with these laws that you guys are dealing with in these other states. I really wasn't aware of just how far some of that has gone.
Oh yeah,
and that's why we do this kind of stuff, is because there's even people that you talk with every day. There might be people in Missouri that don't know that Missouri you can do those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like the universal background check. They want to give basically what they're saying is you can't even sell a gun to a family member if that goes through without going through an FFL.
Well, that just failed in Maryland, so there's some good news for.
Yeah, that's a state, right? But
for us,
federally, we're all screwed.
Yeah, but see, the good news that I see out of it not passing through Maryland is if it can't gain enough traction to pass in a state like this one, it's going to be a lot more difficult for it to pass nationwide.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's impossible, but
yeah. But what I was trying to get a point there to Blind Grilling is, talking about I said I moved to Indiana now to be near where my father originally came from. So I got cousins, and I still got a couple of I got an uncle and an aunt still alive here and stuff. I got tons of cousins, and they're all hunters. Most of them. They're country boys. They are. Like I asked one of them. I said, I'm going to the NRA in Indianapolis at the end of the month. You want to go with me? Why do I want to go to the city for? You know, they're that kind of country. So, but what I'm saying is, I mentioned universal background checks to them, and they had no clue what I was talking about.
Yeah.
You know, and they're into firearms, they're into hunting, and all this kind of stuff. You know. So that's why we try to keep up on it on this on these shows here. So, you know, I said you can join us anytime you like, or I don't know if you're a member of Gun Channels, you ought to join because there's a lot of interesting stuff on there. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look it up.
And it's free to join too. You know. So, anything else, guys? No. So let's start winding it down then, because I'm getting hungry, as you guys know. And my cousin who lives next door brought me over some fried chicken, so that's what I'm having tonight. And before you all get weirded out, I love eating fried chicken cold. You know.
Poor Gary.
Nothing wrong with fried chicken cold.
Is it roll call out that way? Is that what happened to Larry?
No, Larry is a duck. He's not.
Okay, let me go here for shout outs and plugs. I know he hasn't said a lot and he joined us late, but Alaskan, any shout outs or plugs?
Just thank you for the link, and I'm adding more videos to my channel. I'm gonna buy new equipment, microphone, computer, stuff like that. So check it out. And I have a really quick question for David, if you don't mind. Go for it. Since he's in Maryland. Hey, David, there is this Netflix show called The Keepers, not on Netflix. I watched not that long ago. Did you hear about that?
No, I'm not familiar with Netflix.
No, you
I mean,
got.
I'm aware that it's a thing. I just don't watch the shows.
Oh, okay. It just has to do with Baltimore, about this whole Catholic Church conspiracy thing. I was just wondering. But thanks, guys. Thanks, Rick. See y'all later.
All right.
What I can tell you about the Catholic Church in Baltimore is it's absolutely corrupt. So if it's a bad movie about it, it's probably pretty close. No offense to any Catholics out there.
It has to do with, all the priests with the child molestation covering up for years and years and stuff like that. But all right, it was pretty interesting. See y'all later.
All right. Black, any plugs or shout outs? Talk to me, Black Cat. Hit the mute button.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I was still muted. No, like I said, I got my live streaming back, so I'll be doing my live streams again here, and I can live stream from the rallies when we attend now again.
Yeah, you're in the big time now. 1,000 plus subs.
Yeah, I finally got it back. It pains me. I have to thank Yankee and for some of that too.
Oh yeah. Wasn't it Midnight Range that started it with him?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Him, Yankee and NEA and Coda Boy 32 gave me a shout out.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you graced my show. It makes me humble.
I'm just hoping some of those subs don't watch too much of my stuff or the one sub before I get to do a live stream.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad, man. You're indebted now to a fry cook and a Sasquatch.
I know. And I'm I'm gonna have to actually watch Drooling Left of Center now. That's just
all right. Thanks.
Thanks, Rick.
No problem. Blind Grilling. Any plugs or shout outs? Plug your show or somebody else's show, or do whatever you want to do.
Well, I appreciate it. I would definitely appreciate everybody checking out Blind Grilling. At youtube.com/Blind Grilling, and I think we're at 610 subs right now, so we're on our way to 1,000. And I've really appreciated Patriot in the Dark and Blind Shooter, and introducing me to you guys, and just look forward to participating some more and learning a lot more as well.
All right, it was great to see you. I said you can join my chats anytime.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're on my mailing list now, so every time I have a show, when I send the email, you'll get one. Don't feel that you have to come. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I got you. And I'd love to get an email with everybody on here's YouTubes and stuff, so I can go and sub.
All right, did you hear that, guys? So send him an email with your YouTube name or a link to it. There you go. All right, the forklift guy. And shout out to plugs.
Well, I didn't get to drive the forklift while on the show. It's on the Charger today. Shout out to plugs. Well, I really wanted to be on Right of the People last night on Budget Guns and Gear Review. That's every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. But Thursday I dropped my phone on a steel rack. What's that? I heard some.
No.
All right. I dropped my phone on a steel rack on Thursday night at work, and I was able to jump in on Hangouts for a little bit, and then my screen progressively got worse and worse and worse. And it wasn't until today UPS showed up with a new phone for me, so I wasn't able to jump on a Budget Guns and Gear Review show on Friday, but it's every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then following that, Gizzard Gary does Foul Territory every Friday at I think it's about 9 Eastern, and that's a pretty good show too. So I just wanted to shout out those shows from yesterday. People can tune in this coming Friday, and I think you'll like what you hear.
All right, great. David, the Kingpin Bowling.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Rick. Always a pleasure. Make sure you guys check out Rick's Life as I See It's Wednesdays at 7 for shooting with disabilities. And go check out Ghost Tactical's channel. And if you have the opportunity, shoot a video for his Drill of the Month this month.
Oh, yeah, he was in the chat room earlier. I don't know if he's still here. So appreciate him dropping by. He's another big guy that's dropped in on my show. I'm getting really blessed today with all the big guys. So thanks. Patriot in the Dark, your turn.
Well, thanks, Rick. I do appreciate it. I'm going to start off with my new favorite quote from Armament and Axis off of Foul Territory last night. He said, quote, "I got a lot of things I've been thinking about, but they're all gone now." I think something like that. It was pretty good. I liked it. I laughed for at least 5 minutes. So thanks for having me. Check out the hashtag Defend Liberty Project. Do your part, and check out Blind Grillin' and also Blind Shooter. Check them out, and yeah, I'll see you guys around. Oh, and I even am one of those fancy guys. I have a Patreon now, and I even have people that pay me to do this stuff. Well,
wow, I didn't know you had a Patreon.
Yeah. Yes, I just started it. I put it together a long time ago and never went active, and I was messing around with it, and it actually went live, and so it's been about a week or so. So yeah.
All right.
But thank you, everyone. And I'm sorry, Grim, send me your email at patriotinthedark@gmail.com, and Rich, you can. I think I still have your stuff though. So all right, and the pizza's here.
It's just about the 1911 thing for the sticker, and that's not everybody.
Yeah, don't mind him, Rick. Blind guys talk a lot.
I know. So, Rich, any shout outs or plug you want to do?
Yeah, tomorrow night over on Unloaded Media Channel, we will have This Week Unloaded. I don't know what we're going to talk about, so don't ask, but we'll figure something out by then anyway. Or we'll figure something out while we're on there. We do that a lot too, right, David?
Well, we do a lot of that here too.
Sometimes those are the best.
Oh yeah.
There's been many a time where David actually drove the show because he'll come up with a question and then he'll like stump all of us and we'll have to sit there and think about our answers because he actually does come up with some pretty good questions for the panel.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I appreciate all you guys being here. And I definitely appreciate everybody who joins us in the chat rooms. It really makes me good to see everybody. If you like what you saw or heard, give me the thumbs up and subscribe if you're not. I would appreciate it. And I want to say thank you all, and I'll be back on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for Rick's Life as I See It, Shooting with Disabilities. All right. Good night, everybody.
Never Fear the Dark.